Okay guys, so we're going to take off our lower unit. So on either side we have 3 screws on each side, 3 there, 3 on this side. We also have one other one that's going to drop the unit down. I'm going to take the propeller off for 2 reasons. One, I want to check and make sure that there's no string, fishing line or anything else that's around the seals in there, and I want to lubricate the shaft. Secondly is it takes a little bit of weight off the trying to take it off. And you got a cotter pin that you got to take out. Do not reuse the same cotter pin. Buy a new one. Put a new one in. Because they do get weak from bending back and forth, and you don't want to lose your prop in the middle of the ocean. Oh my God, that was a work of Congress to get that sumbitch out. Just that little pin. But finally, I got it out. So now we got to take the nut off. You're going to need a 2x4 or something, piece of wood to put in between your prop so you can take the nut off. Okay guys, so put a piece of wood in here just to brace the propeller. Damn it. Okay. There you go. So take off the nut. And it dropped off, but you got a washer. And then you got your ring. Just watch out. That's your spline ring. And then you pull out your propeller. Alright, so doesn't look like I have any wiring in here. Right in here is the seals too. You can check the seals, see that everything looks dry. So if that was leaking around here and you see fluids and stuff, that would mean that seal would have to be replaced, because that's where your lower unit gear oil is, and that's a seal to keep it from coming out. So everything there looks good. Okay, so you want to get this little rubber piece out. So there's a bolt down in here which holds your trim anoid that's on the bottom here. We're going to take these off first. Number 14 wrench. Alright, so we got them all loose, and now we just got to take them out. I'm going to get a number 14 socket so it goes a little quicker. Alright, let me take all these out and then we'll go. I'll come back as soon as I get all these out. Anoid off. You can see starting to wear and pit. I have to get another one. I don't have one of these to replace, but it needs to be replaced. So I'm going to Yamaha dealer to get something else tomorrow. So I'll pick up one of those as well. So that was a 12 millimeter bolt. Okay, so then up in here is your 14 millimeter, right, and that's going to be the last bolt you need in order to drop this unit. So you have 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and 1 more in here is your last one. And you got to be careful. I have 1 left over on this side that's just holding, because this thing could be a bear to get off, where you have to keep tapping it and wiggling it to get it off, or once you take that last one off, it could just fall down. So you always got to be careful. I always put a box or something underneath here just in case it lets go. I just got that bolt out, so I'm going to loosen this one up, which is kind of like the last one I have. It's important too when you're doing this, make sure your boat is in neutral position. You don't want it in gear either forward or reverse. You want it in neutral. Okay, that's the last one now. Okay, shoot, I thought I was recording and it came off, but it didn't. But anyway, I got the lower unit off. We got it sitting down here, and we're going to stand it up and work on changing the pump. So you can see, shaft's kind of rusty. We're going to grease it up before we go, but we're going to take our 12mm ratchet, and we're going to take off these 4 bolts. Now this plastic piece is going to be reused, but we're going to put everything inside of it new. Got to be careful not to move. That's your shifting shaft spline, which puts it in forward and reverse gear. Alright, and you can notice from the factory they have a little bit of anti-siege on there, which we're going to redo and put those on there. So just save the bolts to the side. The kit comes with new bolts, so we're just going to put 4 new bolts in, but just save them on the side just in case. Now this is, underneath here is your impeller. This is what pushes your water pickup through your motor, cool the motor. This is what makes your, when you see your motor peeing on the side, this is what makes it do that, just in case you didn't know. Alright, so we're just going to rock this back and forth. Alright, it's coming right up. Great. Take that right off. Okay, just inspect the inside. I don't know what it had, some sort of plastic or something on there. And you can see this ring around here. We're going to take that out because we're going to replace that. We're going to clean this up, all this up real good. Alright, next, this is another ring. We have replacement parts for that. So that comes off. Okay guys, I'm going to get this to come up here. Alright, so we got that. We're going to bring that up. And the kit comes with a new one. We're going to replace it, but you just kind of want to look and see if there's any damage to this one, which might be cohesive to something going wrong with your motor. But everything looks good except for this rubber that's on here. I'm not sure why that's, I've never seen the rubber on there like that. Okay, and then this is your impeller. This is what we're going to change, and you can see the direction, how it's bent. It's very important that when you put the new one in, you have the same directional going, and that's going to make the flow of the water the correct way so it pumps up. Okay, finally guys, after friggin' a half an hour, we got that loose. Comes off. And this plastic piece is not the size it was because I broke it, but see where it has this little break? That's normal, that's not broken. Even the new one's going to have a slot in it, which I'll show you later. But now that ring and that is off. You just have to keep working around and around and around a little bit over there. I put grease on it and everything else. That was a booger to get off. Okay, then you got 3 washers that come on here. that you got to get off. Now those washers, you can see one of them is wavy and you got two flat ones. The wavy one goes in the middle, and that, so when it's clamped down, it presses, it's got pressure to hold the impeller down. Okay, so then next you're going to take a screwdriver and get up underneath it. And just remember, we're going to save this so we can see the direction of that. But that came out, so we're good. Now you see there's a key slot. I don't know if you can see that. There's a key slot right there. So that always goes down, so you can't make a mistake. I'm putting it upside down. There's no key slot on the top. The only thing is you got to make sure that your direction, see how it's bent this way? So when you put it down, the new one down, you got to make sure that these bend this way as you're going into the housing. And there's a key right here. This key right here, if you can see it, is what goes into the key on there. That's what holds it in place so it doesn't spin freely. It only spins when the drive shaft is going. Okay, so you got two pegs on this side to hold it in place. You can see, well, even if we didn't pound on this thing to try to get that ring off, we're still going to change this. It comes in our kit. On this blue tape, just in case you're wondering, I put that on because that socket kept sliding out and falling down here, and I had to keep getting it with a magnetic bar. So I just put the tape on there to keep that from falling in. But anyway, you just take your, and just remember what direction it is. This open part here is facing the front of the motor by the directional. That's the way you want to go put it back in. This is nice and fairly clean, but you want to just clean it up before you put the new plate on there. You can see these pins here. They come in a new kit. So we're gonna put new ones in there. I just get my vice grips. This one looks like it's already rusted in there good, so I'm gonna get my vice grips, and we're just going to wiggle it back and forth. Alright, there it is. It's just short. Like I said, we have new ones, so same thing on this one. Alrighty. Alright, we got those pins out. Now I'm just going to take a chisel. I'm just going to go around and get the most of the stuff off. It's there's really nothing on it that's sticking up that's going to not cause a good seal. So this is our kit. Comes with the new impeller. It's a Yamaha impeller. You can see there's the key, and there is the top of it, so that's going to go down like that. This did not come in the kit. I had to order this separately. This is the steel piece. That's this here, these two pieces. The plastic piece and the steel piece that go down over the shaft. That's an additional piece you have to buy, and between this and the kit you have everything you need to do this. You got 4 new bolts that come with it, so we're going to be using those. Then we have our new Yamaha housing. These are your two new seals and pins. Anyway, first things first. So here's your two pins, your two new pins that go in here. Put one on one side, one on the other. Just easily tap them down with a hammer. So you set them, and then you get your gasket. So, and that's a Yamaha genuine part. Comes in the kit. So you can see the old one. Okay, you can see the old one and the new one. You can see all the wear that's on here compared to the new one. It's always good just to double check and make sure. So you can see on the old one, see how there's a little tab over there, and there's a little tab on this one. Make sure that you're going straight. So that's the way it's going to fit on. And those two holes there go on the tab, so it kind of holds it in place. You don't have to worry. And this goes. Then you get your riding plate where your impeller rides on. I'm going to take a little grease, silicone lubricant. We're going to give this a little shot of grease. And this too. That'll just help it when it comes down. This, if you were to hold the shaft and this would spin around, you know that it's not in the key, or the key came out. So we're in good shape. Now we have to change. We have to pick this out here. So I'll just put the screwdriver in there and just kind of get it started there. And it's all dry rotted and kind of melted and stuck in there from the heat and everything. So we're going to clean that up. Easier to stick. So now when you're putting this in, you can see there's a cutout right in here. So you want to make sure that cutout is in the right spot here. Now what happens is there's a key. You can see these two little holes, or these two little keys that are on the bottom here. There's two little slots. There's two slots on the bottom that those keys fit in. It can only go one way, and that way this top of this is going to be flush with this. If this insert isn't flush with this, then you know it hasn't gone in, but you'll feel it pop in. Okay, so before we do that, we got to get some grease. Okay, I'm just going to take this box and I'm going to just squirt a little bit of grease in there so I can use it with my finger. We're going to use this to grease some fittings later. Okay, so you just get some on your finger. You just take your new one and you lay it in that ring, right in the groove. The grease will kind of help hold it in there. And you want to make sure that this one goes down and seats in there. It'll stay there once you get your silver housing in there. Okay, so then like I said, you got to find those two notches and you'll feel it drop in place. There you go. So the black rubber that's underneath here is perfect. This one here has gone into track, so this sticks up just enough to hold that edge in. That's why it wasn't holding before, but everything's nice and flush, so you're good to go. Just going to grease. This will help put in the impeller for the initial startup too. Before we put that on, we got to remember the 3 rings. Got to put these washers on. Remember, there's 2 flat ones and a wiggly one. The wavy one goes in the middle of the 3. Put those on. And they go down. Now, you open up. This is a piece that gave me a fit. It literally took almost an hour to get this thing up. So this one is the one I was telling you, it's got a slit in it. And that goes down to the bottom. Okay, and as you push it to the bottom, as you go over this shaft, when it gets to the bottom, you'll kind of hear it like click, because the inside is tapered for this to go down, so it won't ride back up the shaft. And then this is just kind of like the locking washer of it. But anyway, this is your new metal piece. I'm going to put a little grease on it just to help it slide down a little bit. That goes down over the plastic, and then I just get a wrench and just seat it down over that. Now this ring, this steel ring that you're putting on, will not go all the way down to the bottom of the plastic flange that's in there, and it's made that way so that you can get a tool underneath there to pick it up. That's to keep the impeller from riding up. Okay, so we got that, we got the new pins, we got the flange underneath it, so now we're ready to put the housing. We've already put some grease in here so it can go. So now the important thing is you want to look at this here. You see how the impeller, see how these are straight, see how these go and bent. So you want these to bend that way. So in order to do that, when you're putting down the cover, you're going to turn your shaft clockwise, and as this goes down, it's going to start bending these over, and that's the direction. That's how you want them to be. And that's another reason why we put grease in there, to help that orchestrate the direction that we want of that there. So this is going to be toward the back over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to just slide this down over. Okay, and then we're going to start turning these and pushing down. There we go. Okay, it slid down in there. Okay, turn it, make sure it's going right. Yep, everything's turning freely. Okay, so that's your impeller. So now it comes with four new bolts. So we're going to put the new bolts on. Now these are the bolts, and you'll see they have a little funky washer, so that washer fits in the square part of this hole like that, and it goes down just to help keep everything snug. So we're gonna put some anti-seize on this these bolts as we go. Now if anybody's asking why do we put these on, well, it's in a saltwater environment, and if you don't put something on, people use grease too, you don't have to use this, but you need to put something on so it seals up It seals up the threads, and it also allows you to get these out next time you're trying to replace your water pump. And we'll just start the screws over there and get the next one. Okay, so I don't bore you, I'm gonna go ahead and just do all these one at a time, and then as soon as I get them all in, I'll show you how we tighten them down. Okay guys, I got all 4 of them in. I'm going to this is my number 12 millimeter socket. I'm just gonna snug these up, and then I'll go around and tighten them. Alright, so they're all snug. Now I'm just going to give them like a 1/4 of a turn. And there we go. Just make sure everything's still going good. Alright guys, we're going to take our grease gun and we're going to put some grease on the shaft. Okay guys, I'm just going to go just grease this real good, so when we put it back in the motor, the splines will find their way up easy. And the shaft's a little greased, so maybe it'll keep down on the rust a little bit. I think we're ready to slide this bad boy back onto the motor. And then tomorrow I'm going to have to finish up a couple things because I don't have a new cotter key for the propeller, and I want to get a new iode for the bottom of the motor here. Alright guys, I wanted to show you, these are the 6 bolts that came out of the flange here, and I'm going to take this wire brush, try to clean it up from all the factory for the anti-seize, whatever they use. I'm just going to show you this one. I'm going to do all of them, but I'm not going to spend the time on the camera doing them all. But I'm just going to show you one, and that's how I'm going to do all of them. Okay, and then once you get it done, then I'm just going to put this on it. And I'm going to set it aside, and I'll have them ready to go, all 6 of them. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to do the rest of them, but that's how you do them. Okay guys, this is where we're going to be putting the shaft back in, and then this is your shaft that's going to steer for your reverse and forward. So we're going to put a little grease on there. This is, I think that's your speed jet. We're going to put a little grease in there. You just got to make sure that these two, when you line them up, that they fit both on there. And then the shaft goes up in here, and we're going to we might have to turn the shaft a little bit so the spindles line up. So there it is, ready to go back in. So this is what I was talking about. These spindles will line up with a gear in there, so we might have to turn the shaft a little bit until we get it to line up. And then this and that part right there have to go in here and here. So we've got grease on those. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on those, and then hopefully everything goes. And I've got all the bolts have the anti-seize on it, ready to go. All right, hopefully this goes without a hitch. Okay, put a little bit in there so it finds its way good. Put a little bit in there. Okay guys, we got it in. Now you just gotta okay. Now we're just gonna put a couple in there to get started so it holds. Okay guys, I think we made it. Hopefully everything hooked up good. We'll find the rest of our screws. Get them tightened up. I'm going to get all these 6 screws in and tighten them up, button them up, and then I'll get back with you when we put the ears on and we'll run the motor and see how everything's doing. Make sure we got water pressure from our pump and all that good stuff. Alright, see you. Alright. Let's crank her up and see if she starts peeing. Okay guys, well, you saw it running good. The impeller's pushing the water. I don't have the greatest water pressure here, so I'm sure once we get it out and get on throttle a little bit, you're going to see a harder peak. Again, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the propeller on real quick so I don't lose any of the parts. I'm going to pick up a new one of these here in order to put a new one on. First thing we're going to, now we already checked all this earlier, make sure there was no line or anything on there, so just going to go ahead and put some grease on there. Alright, I'm just going to make sure we got the grease on there and the spline. First thing goes bushing. Got ahead of myself, I got to put the propeller on first. There we go. Now, we put the gears on. Just make sure it locks into the spindles. And then your flat washer. And then your nut. Make sure the ones that have the notches are to the outside, because that's where you're going to put your cotter pin through. I'm going to do my light too so I can see the hole. It's a little dark, getting a little dark now. So anyway, you take your wrench, which is inch and an eighth. Oh, I'm going to turn it the other way. And we're going to turn that. Let me see where the hole is. There's the hole. Okay. Lined up. I'm going to just turn it a tad more. Now I'm not using this, I'm just making sure that that's the hole there. Alright, perfect. So when we get our new one of those, we'll put that in, bend that over, and that's it on the prop. We're going to grease the fittings. I'm going to show you where the grease fittings are that I know of. And we're going to change the anoid that's on the motor, the trim tab anoid. And I'm going to show you, there's a little something different from what I bought this time. That they've changed. Yamaha has changed the disc, and I'm going to show you that. So, and it's inside the motor, right down there, if you can see it, a little silver thing, just around the fuel filter. If you come back in, way down in the bottom, it's hard to see. But anyway, we're going to grease those two, and then I'm going to show you where the other ones are. Okay guys, and you've got one here that's on each side of the back side of your steering arm. So, and basically I gave it one pump, and you can see blue coming out of there. I'm going to do one more. You can see it coming out of there, so you know that's full. I do this on every oil change. And you just need a little bit, just wipe off the excess. There you go. I'm going to go do the one on the other side, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to raise the motor and show you where there's some more. Alright guys, we're going to raise the motor, and then I'm going to show you. We have one here, grease fitting. There's another one on the other side in the same place. And then we have a grease fitting here. And then I look up in here too, like you can see there's a little bit of rust. I'm going to clean that off a little bit. I'm going to spray some silicone up in there, try to keep that rust from getting any worse. Let's go on the other side real quick. So this is the other one that I showed you. And then there's one right here. Okay. You can see it's coming out the same place as it came out from here, so that's full. I'm gonna do this one here. Just put a couple squirts in there, and then I'm gonna go over on the other side and do this one on the other side. Alright guys, and then underneath here you've got one right here. Just going to give it a pump or two. Alright guys, it's pretty hot out here. It's like noontime when I'm doing this. But anyway, those are all the grease fittings that I could find, so I showed you where everything that I grease is. Next, we're going to do the anoid in the motor. Okay guys, again, we're going to take off this little cover with a screwdriver. We're going to go down there and take that bolt out. Alright everybody, in the last video I showed you that we needed to replace this because, I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to get pitted real bad. So I went over to get one at my Yamaha dealership that I got everything else from, and it seems that Yamaha on the larger engines have changed that, and there's no longer a wing on the anoid. There's the Yamaha, certified Yamaha part. Like I said, I always use Yamaha parts on my Yamaha engine as long as I can. So this is the new one, and as you can see, it's the same size, everything except the fin is missing, and they say that's perfectly normal, and all the new engines are coming with it. So I was a little unsure whether they were telling me the truth or not, so I called corporate, Yamaha corporate, and they agreed and confirmed that, yeah, this is the new one they're putting on the Yamaha new motor. So if you go to change one out and you have a fin on it and you don't have a fin on the new one, that's perfectly normal. All right, let's go put this on. Okay, I just wanted to show you something just in case you have a question. So the fin goes like this. There's a little cutout right here in the front that goes toward the front of the boat. You're going to see you have one here that goes toward the front of the boat. This is where the fin would have been, and it should fit right up in there and fit snug. And it uses the same bolt that you had in there originally, so that fits good. We got it all lined up where it's supposed to be. Get my ratchet on. You know what I just did? I just put that in a new part with, I forgot to put the anti-seize on that bolt. We are going to take it back off and put that on. It's very important that that goes on. Okay, you can see the bolt up in here. Just going to put some of this on that bolt. Yeah, you got to realize this is in the salt water all the time. I'm going to put a dab in here too. Doesn't hurt to put a dab in there. Okay, and the last thing is put your rubber piece back on. There you go. All right, well, we're about to button this up. The only last thing I've got to show you guys that we haven't done yet is the fuel water separator that's inside the boat. So we're going to get set up in there, change that, and then yeah, so that's the fuel separator there. I got to take that out. All right. Whew. All right, that's going to be a tough one. So in order to take it out, I'm just going to use an oil filter wrench to take that off. Hopefully I can get the new one on. The Yamaha is a lot longer than the other one, so hopefully I can get it up there and still reach my hand in there. But okay guys, well, I'm sorry, but I can't show you the fuel water separator. It's way up back there behind all the wires, and I just, with the tool I have, I just can't get to it to undo it. So my next time over toward Orlando, when I'm pulling the boat, I'm just going to have it changed by somebody over there. So, but it'll be all right until I do that. So I hope this was informative to you. I hope it gives you enough confidence that if you wanted to do this yourself, save a few bucks from going to the marina and having it done. You know, right now with everything I did today, actually a little over $600 doing it myself, from the least expensive quote that I got, which was $900, and that was from the place I bought the boat from. Ones around here were, one was $1,000, one was almost $1,200, $1,100 and something dollars. So, which, I don't know, to me, I know everybody's got a mega loom, but that's kind of like crazy money. $1,100 for, you know, of course they have all the tools and everything there. They could probably do this in 3 hours, have everything done, if not less. It's a way to save yourself some money. The money you save, hey, you put into some electronics that you got to upgrade on the boat, get a couple new fishing rods that you need, get your licenses. Maybe you're going to take a trip to the Bahamas. You know, you can put that money toward gas, fuel. So anyway, hope you liked it. If you did, please give a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. We're trying to grow this by the end of the year to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost to 800 now. So I think it's possible to do. Hopefully we're going to be getting out on the water a little bit more than we have been. I'm going to end this now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the subscribers I have and the people that aren't subscribed that watch my channel. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate the time that you spend to watch my channel. I do appreciate it. And until we see you next time on the next video, tight line, God bless, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.